Two Drumdums. Edward Furlong. No fate but what we make for ourselves. What's up, guys? I had to do a video on this. This is big news here for me because I never, ever thought that Edward Furlong would be returning to the Terminator franchise. As a matter of fact, I went to Spooky Empire, I think it was last March this year, and I met Edward Furlong, and I had him sign my Terminator 2 Blu-ray. And by the way, this is the Blu-ray you want to get if you don't have the 4K and you want the best, like, grainy picture quality and not the, like, waxy face, washed out version. Get this one right here. This is the one you want to get. Or just get the 4K, actually. If you got a 4K player, 4K TV, get the 4K. But if you don't have that, get this version right here. That's the one you want, okay? And if you can get it with Edward Furlong's signature on it, you'll have to go meet him. But I remember walking up to him, and it was strange because I said, to me, you're the only person that should ever play John Connor. And I wasn't just kissing ass. I really meant that. I've always thought that because what he captured in Terminator 2, I think, is the essence of who John Connor is. You know, you can kind of compare him to like what Sigourney Weaver brought to Ripley. Not saying that he's as strong of an actor, or at least back then, as Sigourney Weaver, but he was able to just tap into it, capture it. And I think maybe there was some James Cameron noodling in there, but they haven't been able to get the character right ever since. And I wanted them to get that again. And so that's why when I said that to him, I meant it. And he just kind of like looked at me and he just said, thanks, man, I really appreciate that. It was an awkward meeting. I've mentioned this in videos before, my Spooky Empire video, I think I mentioned it. It was awkward. And you know what? Some celebrities, they're awkward in front of fans. You know, they just really are. So I get that. But it was still cool to meet the guy. It really was. Now, my thoughts on this. At the San Diego Comic-Con, they had the Dark Fate panel. There was some new footage that was shown. And then, you know, according to the news report I just read, it's very, very small that Edward Furlong is going to be in there. They don't really say too much about it. All we know is that he is back. So the big thing is, I'm hoping that they don't waste Edward Furlong in this movie. I'm hoping that we don't just see a little bit of footage, you know, maybe a couple scenes, and then we move away from that part of the story. I'm hoping that he does have a major role in this movie. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Can he physically handle the part? It's an acting part, okay? They have stunt doubles. When I saw him, I'd say that he could lose a few pounds, but you know, this was back in March. I don't know if he had shot any footage yet, and he might not be required to lose any weight. I don't know. But Edward Furlong is a decent actor. He's proven himself in other roles like American History X. He was great in that. And he's an actor. He's got to take roles. He's got to pay the bills. And he's done some pretty crappy movies out there. Crow Wicked Prayer, I ripped that movie to shreds when I reviewed it. It's not his fault, though. You know, he was just terribly miscast as the Crow. So, you know, I think he is a good John Connor. And I know you're going to laugh at me for saying that from a physical standpoint, but I think mentally he's a good John Connor. I really do. And I think you can physically get anybody in shape to look the part. So that remains to be seen. Like I said, he was really good in Terminator 2. And, you know, for a child actor to have that much weight on his shoulders, let's face it, if he would have failed in that movie, it really could have ruined the movie. It would have ruined the movie. But luckily, he was great throughout the whole thing. And then there is another role that Edward Furlong played as John Connor, and that is Terminator 3D. That was the ride that was at Universal Studios.
Wow, where are we?
The future. Final battle between humans and machines.
Oh, great. I'd rate this rescue about a 2. Maybe a 1.
Many of you might not have went to that, but I went to it quite a few times because me and my family, we used to go to Universal Studios. We still do, like every year, but that ride's not there anymore. But it was cool going to see it. You know, it's this 3D spectacle ride, and it literally looks like, you know, the Terminator is pointing his gun like right at your nose. You know, that's how great the 3D is. And they had this actor that, you know, that played John Connor for the live action portion, but for the in-screen portion, Edward Furlong played him. and you could tell he was a little bit older, but you know, he still was 100% invested in that role, and I actually liked him in Terminator 3D. Not Terminator 3, Terminator 3D. And it made me kind of wish that they would have just carried forward with Edward Furlong from then on, because I don't like really any of the other actors that have played John Connor, if I'm being honest. I remember on Scream Stream I actually mentioned that I liked Nick Stahl, and they threw tomatoes at me, but I did. I think Nick Stahl was okay, but you know, no Edward Furlong. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping that he gets a substantial role, and we shall see. So I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of mixed opinions on this subject, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this news. Are you looking forward to Edward Furlong returning as John Connor? If this movie is a hit, will they continue? Or maybe he'll die in this movie, who knows? But looking forward to hearing your thoughts. I'm really excited that Linda Hamilton's back, and I kind of had a feeling that they might bring Edward Furlong back just because she's back. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays, review for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and a Drumdum out.